In the bustling chaos of Cleveland International Airport, the overhead speakers crackled to life with a voice that pierced the air like a final warning. Final boarding call for Flight 287 to Seattle. All passengers, please proceed to Gate 16 immediately. Sarah Thompson's heart pounded in her chest, a frantic drumbeat echoing her desperate sprint. Her sensible black flats clicked sharply against the gleaming tile floor, her wool coat billowing behind her like a cape caught in a storm. At 29, Sarah was no stranger to hardship, but this moment felt like the culmination of every tear she'd shed, every late-night shift she'd endured. Her backpack thudded rhythmically against her back, heavy with the weight of dreams packed inside, resumes, notes, and a single photo of her late mother, the woman who'd taught her that true strength lay in quiet acts of love. Imagine you're running for the flight that could change your entire life forever, and suddenly you hear a weak voice crying for help. Would you stop, or would you keep running? Tell me in the comments right now, what would you have done? Sweat beaded on her forehead as she scanned the gate numbers blurring past. 12, 13, 14, so close, just a few more strides, and she'd be on that plane, soaring toward the life she'd scraped together from the fragments of her past. The job interview in Seattle, a role at a nonprofit dedicated to children with disabilities, was her beacon of hope, the escape from the endless grind of part-time waitressing and caregiving in Cleveland. She'd saved for months, skipping meals, mending old clothes, all for this ticket. But then, amid the rush, a faint, trembling voice shattered her focus like fragile glass. Help, please, someone. Sarah skidded to a halt, her breath catching in her throat. Time seemed to slow, the airport's hum fading into a distant roar. There, slumped against a row of cold metal seats, was an elderly man in a faded gray coat, his wooden cane toppled beside him like a fallen soldier. His gnarled hand clutched at his chest, his watery blue eyes wide with raw, unfiltered terror, the kind that spoke of loneliness, of a life slipping away unnoticed. A wheeze escaped his lips, ragged and desperate, pulling at something deep within Sarah's soul. She froze, torn between the gate ahead, her future beckoning like a siren's call, and this stranger's plea, a whisper that echoed the vulnerabilities she'd seen in her own family's struggles. The speakers blared again, last call for Flight 287. Her mind screamed to run, to ignore the pull, to claim the opportunity she'd fought so hard for. But her heart, that stubborn, compassionate core shaped by years of raising her 3 younger siblings after their mother's untimely passing from cancer, overruled everything. Tears strung her eyes as she pivoted, her coat swirling in defeat. She couldn't walk away, not from this. Rushing back, she dropped to her knees beside him, the cold floor biting through her jeans. "Sir, can you hear me? What's wrong?" Her voice trembled, soft and steady, drawing on the skills honed from countless nights caring for frail elders in dimly lit nursing homes. His pulse fluttered weakly under her fingers, erratic like a bird trapped in a cage. "Can't breathe," he gasped, his face paling to a ghostly white. Panic surged through Sarah, suspenseful waves of fear that this man might slip away right there, in the indifferent vastness of the terminal. She shouted for help, her voice cracking with urgency, drawing stares from passers-by who hurried on, too entangled in their own worlds to pause. Airport staff finally arrived, their footsteps echoing like distant thunder, followed by paramedics with their life-saving gear. In the whirlwind of questions and IV lines, Sarah held his hand, whispering reassurances. "You're going to be okay, just hold on, I'm here." But as the medics stabilized him and wheeled him away on a stretcher, the plane's engines roared to life outside the window. Her name echoed over the PA, "Sarah Thompson, please report to Gate 16 immediately." She didn't move. The flight departed without her, leaving a hollow ache in her chest. Sarah sank into a nearby seat, her boarding pass crumpling in her fist like a broken promise. Tears welled up, hot and unrelenting, not from regret, but from the bone-deep exhaustion of always giving more than she had. She'd grown up in a cramped apartment, the eldest of 4, her single mother working 3 jobs until cancer stole her away too soon. "Kindness isn't a choice, Sarah," her mom had whispered on her deathbed, her voice frail yet fierce. "It's who we are, give what you can, even when it hurts." Sarah had lived by that, pouring her soul into others, but Today, it felt like the universe had taken everything. The terminal emptied around her, the fluorescent lights casting long, lonely shadows. A kindly janitor, mopping the floor with rhythmic swishes, noticed her bowed head. "You all right, miss?" His voice was gentle, weathered by years of unseen labor, carrying the warmth of someone who'd witnessed countless quiet heartbreaks. Sarah wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, forcing a shaky smile. "Yeah, just missed my flight." He nodded slowly, his eyes holding a depth of understanding that pierced her defenses. "Sometimes life's detours lead to better places. Hang in there." His words lingered like a fragile hope as he shuffled away, leaving her to wander the echoing halls, her savings depleted, her dreams deferred. Hours blurred into a haze of vending machine coffee and numb scrolling on her phone. The interview was tomorrow morning, no flights would make it in time. With a heavy heart, she texted the hiring manager, "I'm so sorry, unforeseen emergency, won't be able to attend." Powering off her phone, she felt the weight of defeat crush her spirit. What now? Back to double shifts, to the ache of unfulfilled potential. As she passed a dimly lit coffee shop, the barista, a young woman with kind eyes and a name tag reading Mia, called out, "Miss Sarah Thompson?" Sarah blinked, startled, her pulse quickening with a mix of confusion and wary suspense. "You've been requested at gate 4. Someone's waiting for you." She just gave up everything, her dream job, her savings, her future, for a complete stranger. And now she's sitting alone, heartbroken, with nothing left. Do you think kindness like this is worth the sacrifice, even when it hurts this much? Drop a heart red in the comments if this moment made you tear up, and tell me, has kindness ever cost you something big? Her mind raced. Who? Why? Dragging her scuffed backpack, she made her way there, each step laced with uncertainty. At gate 4, two men in impeccably tailored suits stood like guardians, their smiles professional yet warm. "Miss Thompson," one said smoothly, "Mr. Montgomery would like to meet you." The name meant nothing to her, but a chill of intrigue ran down her spine. They led her to a private lounge, its door opening to reveal plush leather chairs and soft, ambient lighting, a world away from her modest life. Seated regally in an armchair, sipping herbal tea with steady hands, was the elderly man from earlier. But now he wore a crisp navy suit, his posture exuding quiet authority. Gone was the rumpled coat, in its place, an aura of quiet power. Sarah's breath hitched. You're okay?" Her voice wavered, a torrent of emotions, relief, shock, lingering fear flooding her. He smiled, his eyes twinkling with gratitude that softened the lines of his face. "I am, my dear, thanks entirely to you." She sank into the opposite chair, her hands trembling. "I missed my flight because of this. I had a job interview. It was everything to me." He raised a hand gently, his expression one of profound empathy. "I know I've inquired. Please allow me to explain." As he spoke, Sarah's world tilted on its axis. His name was Richard Montgomery, founder and chairman of Horizon Airways. The revelation hit her like a thunderclap. This man, whom she'd saved from the brink, owned the very airline she'd just missed flying on. "Technically, my children handle the day-to-day now," he chuckled softly, but his voice carried the weight of a lifetime's achievements. "I still wander airports alone. It's where you see humanity's raw edges, the rush, the indifference. Today, I saw something extraordinary in you." Tears brimmed in Sarah's eyes anew, this time from a heart-touching blend of awe and vulnerability. "You gave up your future for a stranger," Richard continued, his own voice thickening with emotion. "Most would have glanced away, hurried on, but you knelt in the dirt of that floor, held my hand when I thought I was fadding. You reminded me of why I started this company, not for empires or profits, but for the people it connects, the lives it touches." He paused, his gaze locking onto hers, filled with a paternal warmth that stirred memories of her lost mother. Suspense hung in the air as he pulled out his phone, dialing with deliberate calm. "Reschedule Miss Thompson's interview in Seattle. Fly the entire board in if needed. I want them to meet her personally." Hanging up, he turned back, his smile radiant. "If it goes well, and I have no doubt it will, the job is yours. We'll cover your relocation, accommodations, a salary that honors your spirit. No more worries about scraping by." Sarah's tears spilled over, her chest heaving with sobs of disbelief and joy. Why me?" she whispered, her voice breaking. Richard leaned forward, his hand clasping hers, the same one she'd steadied earlier. "Because the world is starving for kindness like yours, Sarah. And because you saw an old man everyone else ignored. In that moment, you saved more than my life. You restored my faith in humanity." 2 weeks later, under the crisp Seattle sky, Sarah strolled through a serene park, her new company badge glinting in the sunlight. She hadn't just landed the job, she'd been entrusted with leading Horizon Airways' groundbreaking charitable division, focusing on elderly travelers, low-income families, and unsung caregivers like herself. The board had been moved to tears by her story, shared only in whispers during the interview. But Sarah kept the full tale close to her heart, not for her co-workers, not for the buzzing media inquiries, not even for her old roommates back in Cleveland. To her, true kindness wasn't a spotlight, it was a quiet flame, burning brightest in the shadows. And now, dear viewer, as you watch that viral video, the one where a beaming Sarah stands beside Richard Montgomery, unveiled as the heart of the airline's humanitarian revolution, know this: she's the everyday woman who chose compassion over convenience, who let her dreams slip away to cradle a stranger's fading light. Her story isn't scripted, it's etched in real tears, real sacrifice, real redemption. Kindness carries no price, yet it unlocks doors bolted shut by fortune. Never shy from that detour of the heart, for it might just be the path destiny carved for you. In a world rushing by, pause, help, and watch as the universe, in its infinite grace, lifts you higher than you ever dared to dream. Let these words linger, let the tears fall, they're the bridge to a kinder tomorrow. She missed her flight to save a stranger and ended up flying higher than she ever dreamed. Was this just luck, or proof that real kindness always comes back when you need it most? Type yes in the comments if you believe kindness changes lives. And tell me your own story. Have you ever helped someone and something amazing happened later? I read every single comment.